Hi, I'm Camille Knighton with BenchBUD, and today I'm going to show you how to assemble the BenchBUD base with your own work surface. Before you assemble your BenchBUD, please make sure that the work surface that you're using meets these following sizing requirements. Please be aware that 5/8 inch screws are provided. If your work surface is 5/8 inch or thinner, you will need to supply your own hardware. Step 1. Before starting, make sure to lay your work surface on a protected surface, with the underside facing upwards. Also, the legs must be in its lowest position before installing the hex rods. Place the left leg column, X, onto the work surface. The underside of the work surface should be facing upwards. Make sure that the leg is in its lowest position. Then, insert the hex rod R through the left motor assembly, V, starting at the bracket side of the motor. Slide the hex rod into the left leg drive input hole. The hex rod should slide all the way into the leg. If the hex rod is not properly aligned with the drive input, slightly rotate the motor 1/6 or 1/3 of a turn. Pro tip: you can use the hex rod wrench, labeled O, to rotate the hex rod if you're needing help to align with the drive input. Step 2. Place the right leg column, Y, onto the work surface. Make sure the legs are in its lowest position. Insert the hex rod R through the right motor leg assembly, W, starting at the bracket side of the motor. Then slide the hex rod into the right leg drive input hole. The hex rod should slide all the way into the leg. If the hex rod is not properly aligned with the drive input, slightly rotate the motor 1/6 or 1/3 of a turn. Pro tip: you can use the hex rod wrench O to rotate the hex rod if you're needing help to align with the drive input. Step 3. After the hex rods are installed, align the left motor bracket and the corresponding mounting holes on the left leg column, X. Position the lock washers, G, and tighten motor mounting bolts, F. Repeat to attach the right motor bracket to the right leg column, Y. Step 4. Slide cross supports, P, over leg cross support brackets. Step 5. Insert the bolts and washers labeled J and K into the cross support using the provided Allen wrench, M. Make sure to wait until all 8 sets are installed before fully tightening. Step 6. Place the assembled base onto your work surface. Before securing, make sure to ensure that the base is centered on the work surface, both front to back and side to side. Reference the diagram in your instructions. Pro tip: to center side to side, all M1 widths must be the same. Each M1 width should not exceed 12 inches. To center front to back, all M2 depths must be the same. Step 7. Now secure the base to the work surface using the washer head wood screws, labeled E. Do not fully tighten the wood screws until all have been inserted. Pro tip: for proper alignment, first insert screws at the 4 corners of each leg mounting bracket, then install remaining screws. Step 8. Place the U-channels on the work surface as shown. Now before securing, center each U-channel between the legs from the inside of the mounting plate. They will sit approximately 9.5 inches apart. Reference the diagram in your instructions. Pro tip: align each outside edge of the U-channel with the edge of the leg mounting plates. All M3 widths should be the same. Step 9. Now attach the U-channel to the work surface with the washer head screws, labeled E. Do not fully tighten until all screws have been installed. Pro tip: for proper alignment, first insert screws at the 4 corners of the U-channel, then install the remaining screws. Step 10. Mount the control switch S to the work surface using 2 wood screws, labeled H. The switch can be installed in any location, wire lengths permitting. Step 11. Mount the control box T to the work surface using 2 wood screws, labeled H. The control box can be installed in any location, wire lengths permitting. Please take note that there is a required orientation for the control box. The long side of the control box must run parallel to the long side of the work surface. Also, the table will not operate unless the control box is screwed tightly to the table without any play. Step 12. Install the wire management channel, labeled L, and cord clips, labeled I, to organize the cords and cables using the washer head wood screws, E. If you need some extra help, see the cable mounting diagram in your instructions. Pro tip: mount the wire management channel L with the adhesive strips and 2 wood screws, E. Insert 1 screw on the flat edge of each side of the wire management channel to penetrate the plastic and the work surface. Plug the control switch S, motors V and W, and power cables U into the control box T. Then plug the power cable into an outlet. Now, with the table still upside down, go ahead and test your BenchBUD to see if the assembly was successful. To complete the test, we're going to first hold the down arrow on the control switch until the table no longer moves to complete the reset mode. Once the table is in its lowest position, push the up arrow. If the table's legs move properly, your installation was a success. Pro tip: have casters or accessories to add? Make sure to install them before you flip your BenchBUD right side up to make the process easier. You can find the installation instructions for those casters in the description below. Now you can flip the table right side up and begin use. If you have any other questions on your BenchBUD assembly, feel free to reach out to our customer service team. Now I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on all things BenchBUD. Thanks for watching.